Well, hello again. This is another video about the Blue Lore Master. This time I decided to show a different character. This character I originally made on Shadowfax and played him at high landscape difficulty for a long time and a couple of different specs. And had a lot of fun with them, and I didn't really get him very far. As you can see, he's only level 71. And when Shadowfax closed, I moved him to a different server, and he's now just really a crafting alt on that server. But he is another Blue Lore Master, at least at the moment. The spec is actually very similar to the spec that I showed in the video I made a couple of days ago, with a max level, fairly well-geared character. This character has, again, essentially the same spec. Not sure why I put another point in here. Not really sure. In Don't You Touch Him, you really only need one. I'm not really a fan of After Battle Treat. It only lasts 5 seconds. It only adds 10% to the pet's damage, but whatever. I needed to put points somewhere, and most of this stuff is trash. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and critical coordination. Yeah, so all that makes sense. But you got to put a couple of points here to be able to take the last two traits, and that's where I threw them, I guess. He does have Lightning Charge Staff Strike, which is, I think, really important because it increases the range of your Staff Strike, as well as adding quite a lot of damage to it. Obviously, he's only level 71, so he doesn't have all the other skills that my level 150 Blue Lore Master has, but he does have Bane Flare with 3 points in it, which gives it only a 1-minute cooldown, so he still has that nice emergency button. Once again, we have guard mode enabled. I have the assist mode enabled here. I'm going to leave it that way for now, although, again, normally I would recommend leaving assist mode off so you have a little more control over what the pet's going to do. I'll leave it on for now. Want to just point out that this character's gear is absolute trash. He's level 71, and for the most part his gear is level 58 or 50 crafted gear, for the most part. I mean, there's a few other pieces. This is a level 70 piece that's from the Further Adventures Quartermaster in Rivendell. Let's see, again, here's level 58 crafted gear. I think it's crafted gear. Level 67. Okay, that's not too bad. What else do we have? Oh, these are earrings from which were bonuses from high level versions of various expansions, and these aren't too bad in terms of stats for while you're leveling up. Once you get past their supposed level cap, the stats go way down. They're terrible, but they're fine for now. Yeah, level 50, level 58, level 50. Yeah, so I mean, a lot of his gear is 20 levels lower than he is, which tells you about when I stopped more or less, quote unquote, really playing him. His LIs also are, I mean, he has all of his slots filled, but not with nothing terribly exciting. I mean, I don't think he has any legendary traceries. I don't know why I would have bothered giving him any the way I was playing him before. And you can see that even the slots are not fully enhanced. 55 out of 75. This one's 65 out of 75. And we look at this one, it's the same thing. The slots really aren't enhanced very much. A lot of his traceries are just random things I had laying around. This one is good. The retribution damage and critical multiplier. We are going to use retribution quite a lot. If you saw my last video, you'll know that I'll be using that quite a lot. This is only a yellow tracery though. Burning Embers is good. We'll be using Burning Embers a little bit. Inner Flame, hopefully we won't have to use Inner Flame, but it does give us a decent amount of extra healing off Inner Flame if we need it. And here again, more Burning Embers damage. Cracked Earth, which I will use when we get critical coordination. Target resistance damaging skills, whatever, if you're fighting stuff higher level than you, which we're going to do a little bit here of, then that helps a little bit. Anyway, we are here in Dunland, specifically at the Rohirrim Scout Camp. Just to look at the map for a moment, this is Dunland, which is south of oh geez, I always mess this up. Yeah, south of Enidwaith. And we are located here in Dunland, which is north of the Gap of Rohan, and as you can see, Isengard is over here way beyond the circling mountains around Isengard. Anyway, in this area we're going to find some level 70, 71, 72 enemies. I think most of them are going to be normal enemies. They're not going to be signatures or elites, but we'll see what we can find. And I'm going to show you that even though this character is pathetically undergeared, he's still going to do okay. Because here's something that you should know. Your pets do not benefit from any of your character's stats. That means your pets don't directly benefit from any of your gear. You have this great piece of gear that gives you more than the usual amount of will and more than the usual amount of vitality. That's great for your character. It does nothing for your pet. And as a Blue Lore Master, a lot of what you do is through your pet. Now, you can still do quite a lot of damage on your own. That doesn't mean you shouldn't get good gear. But for the most part, if you don't have good gear, like this character has terrible gear, you'll do okay. Your pet's going to do almost all the work, but your pet's going to do almost all the work anyway. Your job as a Blue Lore Master is to get the pet's wild sigil buffs maxed out to tier 5 as quickly as possible, and we know how to do that. Retribution followed by each of the 3 wizard sigils as quickly as possible, because the buff which makes each of them give the pet tier 5 with only a single cast lasts for only 4 seconds. But after that, the pet's fully buffed up, and with the Wild Alacrity trait, 16 extra seconds on wild sigils, plus it's the 15-second base duration, that lets those last for 31 seconds, and that means you only have to cast each of these one time each, once every 31 seconds, preferably, or less. So let's go out and find something to beat up, and we'll see how this really badly geared, badly equipped character does. And I'm not going to worry too much about exactly what we find. We're just going to go and beat it up. So there's something. Okay, that's a Dusk Hound. Let's make sure we have decent line of sight to it, because he's hugging a tree right now. We're going to send the bird in with the attack command, and then immediately go with Retribution. Wizard Spark, Wizard's Fire, Wizard's Frost, and Sign of the Wild Rage, and it's gone. We now have our maximum wild sigils. I'm level 71. This orc over here is level 72. Sending in the bird, Wizard's Spark, Wizard's Fire, Wizard's Frost, and the bird's auto attacks take care of it all by themselves. I didn't even have to use a special attack. Here is a Skirmisher. I'm going to make sure the bird gets the first hit in. I'm just going to let it do a normal auto attack. Wizard's Spark, Wizard's Fire, Wizard's Frost keeps the buffs up. And, well, I was going to interrupt that rain of arrows, but I didn't have to, so we're fine. Let's see if we can find something else before our sigils run out, because we always want to keep those sigils up. There's the Warrior. I'm going to have the bird start with Sign of the Wild Rage, which gives it a nice attack. And I'm probably not going to get all 3 of my sigils in. Nope, I did not. I only got Wizard's Spark and Wizard's Fire going there. So I'm going to start with Wizard's Frost on the next attack. Here's a Dusk Hound again. And the auto attack from the bird took care of it. I'm going to finish it off with Sign of the Wild Rage, and that is the end of that. I'm going to pull 2 things this time. Here is a Krabbin, which isn't very strong, and a Dusk. He auto attacked them dead. I didn't get to show you. The pet taking on 2 things at one time. And again, I couldn't get all 3 of my sigils off before the thing was dead. Okay, we're going to move into that second target over there, and then Sign of the Wild Rage, which, as you can see, hits both of them. And that's a signature we have over there, by the way. I'm going to interrupt that Howl of Terror. Okay. And as you can see, the bird's taking practically no damage at all. What little damage it takes is being recovered, because Sign of the Wild Rage triggers Wild Peck. And Wild Peck, as you can see, does a small heal to the pet for each target that wild peck effects, and it can affect up to 5 targets. Let's get in there again. I'm going to stun it with Retribution this time, just to make sure I get all 3 of my sigil buffs at max on the pet again. And we'll just finish it off with Sign of the Wild Rage. I'm always happy to use Sign of the Wild Rage, because Sign of the Wild Rage will very, very quickly recover its already short cooldown, because every elemental attack that I use shortens its cooldown by 2 seconds. So I'm never hesitant about using it, because it recovers so quickly. In fact, by the time I find another target here, it's going to be recovered. In fact, I'm going to be lucky if I find a target before my sigil buffs wear out again. Alright, that's just a crab in. I'm not even going to send the bird in advance. I want to be sure I get all 3 of my sigil buffs refreshed on the bird. Okay, there's another level 72 Dust Hound. I'm going to send the bird in first. I'm going to have him lead off with Sign of the Wild Rage. You can see it does really good damage. Oh boy, he must have gotten a crit there. And I'm going to start with Wizard's Frost, because that's the one I didn't get to refresh before. And as you can see, the bird's holding aggro absolutely beautifully there, and does a tremendous amount of damage still, even with my shitty gear and the fact that these things are higher level. Oh, if I didn't point it out before, as you can see, I am actually at Landscape Difficulty 9. I should have pointed that out earlier. You probably could have seen it out on my buff bars here. It's listed Difficulty 9, Heroic +2. Okay, I'm going to use that's just a crab, and I'm not going to do anything with that. Alright. Well, let's just refresh the sigil buffs again. I'm not going to keep going on this. I think it's pretty obvious what's going on here. It's very, very simple. I'm not gonna keep going. Oh, there's a couple of more players. Isn't that fun? Oh no, only one more player. He has an NPC running after him. That's cute. Anyway, I'm going to stop here, because it's pretty easy to see that even with this absolutely horrendous gear, LIs that have been fully reforged, but otherwise are just full of, junk traceries that I happen to have laying around, or just got lucky with from opening up random boxes. This character is doing fine. Now, we fought was it just one signature? I think it was one signature enemy. The rest were not signatures, but there was no problem. I mean, there was just no problem at all. This character just took care of everything with aplomb, if you will. The trick is get the wild sigil buffs on the pet, tier them up to 5, and the way you do that, again, Retribution buffs up your wizard sigils for 4 seconds. That means you immediately have to cast all 3 in succession. Wizard Spark, Wizard's Fire, Wizard's Frost. Doesn't have to be in that order. You can do it any order you want. It usually makes a lot of sense to use Wizard's Frost first, because Wizard's Frost will apply a movement slow. It'll slow the movement of the target. So if it starts running toward you when you do your own first cast on the target, it'll be moving more slowly and give you more time to get your sigils up and to get the pet in there. So Retribution, 1 cast each of your 3 Wizard's X spells, your Wizard Sigil spells. That will tier your pet's buffs up to tier 5 each, enormously increasing its combat outgoing damage and greatly decreasing the amount of damage that it takes. I'm going to end this recording now, and the next recording I'm going to try to find something that's roughly about the same level, but preferably signature and elite, so that you can see how the character, again with its terrible gear and randomly kind of weak and poor LIs, manages against signatures and elites. Hopefully around the same level, but I think the ones I'm going to find are going to be a few levels lower. We'll see. Thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of this video. Blue Lore Master can be a little bit of an annoyance to play, because you do have to keep the wizard sigils up. You do rely a lot on the pet, so if you're used to having your character do everything and you don't think of the pet as part of your character, which it is, you may not enjoy that as much. But it's very, very effective. It was pretty effective before the Update 41 revamp of Lore Masters. It's just as effective now, but the play style is very, very different, and the main thing that bothers me about it is that it doesn't have the crowd control and the various debuffs that you used to be able to apply. Doing those things for me was a lot of fun. Now, if you go into yellow, you can get a few things like I've gotten Bane Flare by putting some points into yellow. But if you go deeply enough into yellow, you can't go deeply enough into red to get the stuff that makes the Lore Master character itself a useful combat companion for the pet. And as you get higher in level, that becomes more and more important. Anyway, I'm going to end it. Like I said, I'm going to end the video here, and I will make another one, at least one more video showing probably this character taking on some at least signatures, and I'm hoping for elites. I don't remember if they're signature or elites, and they may be a few levels lower, but it should still be pretty challenging. So I'll hopefully see you in the next video.